Do you smell that? What is that?
What?
What's that smell?
A cologne?
No.
Opportunity.
All right, James, tell us where the markets are moving.
All right. Starting with college football, going to go to the NFL. This is college football heavy. This is like a college football heavy podcast right now, but it's just a great weekend. So, like, you know,
It's the best college football
yes,
weekend.
I felt like I'd be remiss if I didn't cover
Yes.
more than NFL.
Good for you, man. Good
But
job.
it is kind of funny because a lot of these are not like you're not going to be too stoked for me to go over this. But let's get into it. So Vandy versus UK. I start with this one because this is the classic spot of like let's fade a team after a massive win. Opened Vandy plus 11.5 at FanDuel. Got hit at the open on the Kentucky side by a couple services and groups, and it's been steady steaming. Right now, it's 13.5 in favor of UK. I expect to see some buyback on Vandy at like 14 or 14.5 just when it gets to that key number. Also, no respected money came in on the under, which moved it a point from 46.5 to 45.5. People really like the UK defense. I think it honestly could be like a top 10 unit when it's all said and done. Like they're a good defensive front. Like that front seven is nice. And obviously these groups are playing the angle of the biggest win in program history,
yeah.
Going on the road to UK. I don't know if it's at night or even if it's a sleepy 12 o'clock noon game, then I think it's even worse for Vandy. But anyways, moving right along, coming off of or going to the same angle where you're playing the other side of a team that is getting a ton of attention from the media. We're going to go to Boise State versus Hawaii. Opened minus 21.5, Boise State down to 20.5. I know personally 3 groups on Hawaii already at that 21.5. Nothing at 20.5 yet, but I bet we will see some come in just because, again, people like love this spot. National media is loving Boise State, and my dude Ashton Genty. Biggest game of the season is after Hawaii. They got UNLV on deck. So you got to go to the island in a spot where you're a 3-touchdown favorite. Afterwards, you have the biggest game of the season for the Mountain West. It's just a terrible spot. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes. I won't be on any of those sides, honestly, right now with those numbers. I would want to get down on Boise State if it gets super low. Like if this thing just steams down to like, 18, maybe I'll take a shot, but Hawaii is stinky. I don't want to even touch that. But Boise State's defense is brutally bad. I mean, they are a bad unit. They're lucky they're at the spot. I mean, Boise State's my squad, but if you can't stop Petrus,
They made him look like 2012
he had
Aaron
what,
Rodgers.
350 yards? I
Yeah.
mean, what are we doing? All right, and then the last unknown game here is Rice versus UTSA. It's UTSA versus Rice. Rice is at home. The only reason why I say this is there's major money coming in on UTSA. It opens minus 3.5. So many groups, a ton of groups hit it at minus 3.5. Now it's all the way up to minus 6 UTSA. It's a low volume game. Money again, hit the opener. I don't know anything at 6. It's going to be interesting to see where this resistance comes in because this is kind of like week 1, week 0 where no one wants to get on Rice. And everyone's on UTSA. So it's like, where is this one going to stop? You know, does it get to 7? Do you see buyback there? Does it go past that? Yeah, just who knows? Extremely low volume too. So it's like the money coming in is from sharp and respected people. That's the thing too about these, and I'll get on a quick tangent before I get to the rest of it, but I get a ton of nice emails. So thank you everyone on the email list who sends me good stuff, especially this week that I've had some very positive stuff. I love the positive vibes coming into the inbox.
Okay.
And then I get this one from a guy who is like talking about like market movers, and he's like more fairy tale stuff. And it's like, dude, what? I don't understand where you're coming from that perspective, because in a game like UTSA versus Rice, like what do you think is moving these lines? Like, do you think like, you know, Phil Fanny Pack is coming up to the counter and betting like $1,000 and that volume is going to move the line? It's like, no, like what, like, or that the randomly like a bookmaker is just going to move this on air. Like, I mean, I guess that could happen if they think they got it messed up at the open and they're scared the liability is going to come in. But it's like, what are you talking about, fairy tale? Like, this segment is really made for us to try to like educate you guys on like how to read a move. You know, like if it opens and moves right away, well, you know that got hit, or you know it was a bad opener. So it's like to me, I'm just like, what are we even talking about? What are we doing here? All right, end rant. Now to the big games, and it's really only two. Texas versus OU. I wanted to talk about this game. Like, I was hoping I pulled it up and was like, all right, cool. Red River rivalry. We got some awesome action, some good movement. Dude, nothing. It has not moved off 14.5. It stayed there. I don't know any services or groups. I reached out to people who I'm friendly with. Nothing. No one's on either side as of yet. Be interesting to see where it goes. If they want to get under 14, if they want to keep going higher, I don't know. Who do you think?
I think that's just a perfect line.
Yeah, me too.
14.5. It's like 2 touchdowns. OU covers a little bit more. Texas covers.
Yeah, it's
just a weird. It's also a rivalry game too, where it's people are usually just
That's why I thought you were going to see it kind of shift.
13.5, 12.5 type thing. Texas is just such a wagon, and I think the public and
the
sharp bettors
and they're coming off a bye.
I just think everybody knows that.
But is OU coming off a bye too? Am I stupid with that?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
because last game they played Auburn.
It's like Florida, Georgia. They take byes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just think the public and sharp groups alike, everyone's so knowledgeable and educated on Texas, Oklahoma, where the sports books are as well. So they know exactly.
And you have a look-ahead line posted
a week before
since June.
So it's not going to be.
FanDuel's had this number up on and off since June.
So it's just not going to move.
It's pretty efficient. Like, you're where you're at. A game that is not so efficient. Ole Miss versus LSU. This one is ping-ponging off 3, which I love a nice ping-pong game. It's like groups going back and forth. It's great. It opens Ole Miss -2.5. This is at Tiger Stadium at night. So it's like, whoa. You got
Death Valley.
Yeah, or Death Valley. Is it Tiger Stadium too?
No, it's Death Valley.
Well, you know how they have you call the name and then it's like,
I'll look it up.
Yeah, fact check me on why I go through this. So it opened -2.5. Old Miss went to -3.5. Immediate buyback on LSU went down to 2.5. Then they got hit again and went back to 3.5. Old Miss. Going to be interesting to see where this one closes. I cannot believe that they it's pretty much completely bypassed. Excuse me, 3 every time that this line moves. So I'm I wonder why books are choosing, and the market is choosing to just straight up go through 3, flat. I don't know why, but we'll see. I think that we're going to see this one climb or move towards LSU. I really do. I think that.
So I'll give you some, just as I was doing my ATS insight for Gold Stars, dude, LSU has not performed well against the spread this year.
Same with Ole Miss, correct?
No, Ole Miss has been killing it ATS.
I don't think they've been killing it.
Yes, they have. They covered every big spread except for the latest. The game they lost to Kentucky was the only game they've lost against the spread.
ATS? Okay.
So LSU has severely not performed well in relation to what sportsbooks have expected. So I'm kind of, and this LSU team is just a weird team. I feel like that line. I feel like you will have a better read on Ole Miss rather than LSU.
Okay, I'd be interested to see.
Another thing too. I just sorry to cut you off. This is crazy. LSU and Clemson both have their nicknames as Death Valley.
Yeah, I knew that.
And they're both the Tigers.
I knew that as well.
That's so lame. Who copied who?
Probably Clemson.
And they're both Tiger Stadium.
So it is Tiger Stadium. So I was correct on that.
Louisiana State's Tiger Stadium is nicknamed Death Valley.
Okay, I knew that. See, I know my ball.
Dude,
a little bit.
why do they copy each other? That is the lamest thing. It's Clemson's Memorial Stadium, and then also known as Death Valley. Who? That is so bad, dude. That they're the Tigers and they're both.
Someone tell us who came up with these
super lame.
First.
Holy cow!
All right, just 2 NFL games. We'll keep this moving. Tampa Bay versus New Orleans. I touch on this because it's the injury, and I love seeing how much the market adjusts for a backup quarterback. Well, it looks like there's a 6.5 difference between Derek Carr and Jake Haener. Which shout out Jake Haener. The first episode, we were like, what's he doing? He had cancer, I'm pretty sure, right?
And he did, and he beat it.
Yeah, so good for you, Jake. But the move was entirely based off injury. Nothing, service-based or sharp-based. Open +2.5 Tampa Bay. Plus 2.5 Tampa Bay. Now it's -4 Tampa Bay. So again, 6.5 point difference between Carr and Haener. I don't know where this is going to go. I always try to stay away from injury games unless it's a clear one, clear upgrade like Bryce Young and Andy Dalton. So I know we're not going to be touching it. But again, I'd be interested to see where the market thinks this is going to go? Or
That's a big difference in the NFL too. 6.5 is a big for backup
I mean,
quarterback.
Hayner's just unknown. I don't
I
think
know.
he has like anything. So interested again to see where this one's going to close. And then Atlanta versus Carolina. We're staying in the NFC South. The Carolina honeymoon phase ended pretty quickly.
Yeah, last week ended that.
What did it last? Two weeks?
Yeah.
Now everyone's off of it. Moved 2 points off the open. They were +4 at home. Now they're +6. Respected money came in on Atlanta at -4. Haven't seen anything since then. But if these groups want to get down on Atlanta, they're probably going to get down at 6 because they don't want to deal with 6.5 or 7. So if you're anticipating the move to 6.5, 7, I would
And
suggest
if you want to
betting
bet
that
Atlanta,
now.
yeah. If you want to bet Atlanta, take them at 6 right now.
Yeah. So that concludes our, what is that, a 6-pack? 7-pack?
6-pack plus talking about random stuff, including Death Valley, which is the lamest thing of all time.
All right.
Closing it out. Let's move along.